Shamrock Rovers have been beaten 2-0 here by Juventus in the first leg of their third round Europa League qualifier. Let's hear from the Rovers manager Michael O'Neill. He's with Tony O'Donoghue.
Thanks, Tara. Michael, of course the result won't surprise that many people, I suppose, around Europe, but you must be very proud of your players tonight.
Yeah, great effort from the lads. You know, they gave us basically everything they could. You know, disappointing obviously to lose the goal so early in the game. It kind of messed with our game plan, so to speak, and I feared for us a little bit in the first 15-20 minutes, but we dug in, and I thought towards half time we started to get more possession of the ball and we started to get a bit more territory in the game. Second half again the same, to be honest, at the start of the second half, but they have so much quality that they're always liable to hurt you. We changed and went to 4-4-2 to try and force a goal, but ultimately we knew we'd leave ourselves a wee bit more open doing that, and they picked us off with the second goal as well.
As you say, to concede a goal so early threw your game plan out the window, but at half time you clearly said to them to pass the ball through midfield more, and that worked for you.
Yeah, it did. Early on in the game we went back to front far too quickly and far too early in the game. We're just giving the ball back to them, to be honest, and I think just we lost. You know, we said to them before this at the start of the game, like, you know, to have belief, and you have to settle into a game to get belief as a player, and we never got that opportunity tonight because, you know, going behind so early in the game, and it took them, as I say, 20-25 minutes before they got that belief. And but certainly in the second half we moved the ball about well. I probably would have liked to see us put the ball in the box a wee bit more earlier in the second half.
Because Dan Murray had a great chance, didn't he?
Yeah, we always knew, like, we're a threat at set pieces, we're a threat from when the ball goes in the box, from crosses, Twiggy, Tommy Stewart, and you know, at that point we looked as if we could maybe force an equaliser, but you're always wary of the quality that they can hit you with as well.
You had very little time to prepare from last week's game in Israel. Do you think the players were a little bit overawed because, of course, Juventus is such a huge name in world football?
I think they maybe were slightly. The nature of the game, and as I say, losing the goal within the first minute or minute and a half certainly didn't help us to settle into the game. I didn't think they would be, to be honest. I felt that they would go out and play the way they did, you know, in patches of the game where they would be able to hustle and hurry and, you know, try and upset Juventus. But it's difficult for us to be able to do that for the kind of whole game and 90 minutes of the game because of the quality that we're playing against. So we had periods in the game where I thought we were very good, and we had periods in the game where we had to dig deep. But overall, you know, we can't ask any more of the players.
It was a great occasion for Shamrock Rovers, for Tala, indeed for Ireland, don't you think?
Yeah, I think so. You know, I mean, you see there at the end, obviously Del Piero coming on, the reception he gets, and it's fantastic for the people here, you know, to see players like that playing a competitive game. And, you know, we'll have to go out obviously in the second leg, and hopefully we'll give a good account of ourselves out in Italy as well.
Michael, thank you.
Thanks very much, Tony.
Okay, Michael O'Neill with Tony O'Donoghue. Guys, thank you very much indeed. And Del Piero, one of the lines of the night, I think Owen mentioned it in commentary, you'll never play for Rovers, was the chant from the Rovers fans to Del Piero when he came on. Liam, just to react to what Michael was saying there, you know, he mentioned about the Dan Murray chance, which we'll look at in due course, but the fact that the game plan went out the window after 3 minutes, and it took the players, Damien mentioned it at half time about this word about belief, it took them, you could visibly see it took them a while to get their bearings and to settle into the thing because they were so shaken by the early goal.
That's right, they didn't put a passing move together in the first half till about 30 minutes, 35 minutes, and it ended up with Stewart getting into the box and getting a good cross in. They may have been shell-shocked after losing the goal so quickly, but as Damien says, whatever Michael said at half-time, it did the trick. We did say though that if you go to a 4-4-2 against Juventus, you're going to leave yourself open at the back. That happened as well. It was a little bit predictable, the result, but I have to say that Rovers gave a very good account of themselves, particularly having lost that goal after a couple of minutes.
And Damien, Michael mentioned as well, and Tony did, about the occasion that this was, that it's had national media attention. When we spoke a number of years ago, and when the change was made to bring us to the season to summer soccer, these were the sort of nights, like Shelbourne in 2004, wasn't it, with the Deportivo match. These were the sort of nights that were envisaged when that change was made.
These were the nights that were envisaged, and we've had them, and we've had quite a few of them. The real point about that, though, that is what we do from these points. How do you progress to the next level? We've got to sit down and look at Shamrock Rovers' performance now and say, okay, maybe they were never going to beat Juventus, but how could they have been better? How could they have taken more control of their own destiny? And the two halves exemplified exactly how to do that. We've got to be much more authoritative in the way we play in the league here. We've got to allow managers a little bit more patience, a little bit more time to instill in the players a belief in their own individual talent and then the collective talent. And I think we saw in Shamrock Rovers, and we've seen in the past 4 or 5 years in particular, there is enough quality in this league on an ongoing basis to be better and maybe make that breakthrough. But there is individual and collective lessons we learned here this evening.